Okay, I'm not sure why this isn't working, but here, let's try it again. All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. Mikey flashes in just at the last second. Woo! I'm here,
baby.
Brilliant.
Like, come on, hero.
Just so you guys know, I'm battling a little bit of like laryngitis-y kind of shit, which seems to be another symptom of this goddamn flu thing that I went through. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be going to band tomorrow night either. I couldn't go last week because I had the same issue. So, anyways,
you can sing some blues.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
some
Negro
spirituals, Neil. Give me some Wade in the water with that gravelly voice.
Anyway, so hey guys, we've got Chad Harris with us. Welcome to the show, Chad.
Well, thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Well, that's awesome. Chad was on an Amazon Prime show called Shiny Happy People, and they did. It was an interview that they did with you, and talking about your being involved with this the ILBP, which is the Institute of Better Living Practices or some shit like that. And I looked these guys up on Google, and they're absolutely fucking insane. Is all I can say.
Say the letters again. I'm not gonna Google them. I just wanted to know what it was.
IBLP. I'm not going to Google them. Google.
I believe. Well, yeah, you might be using like Dogpile or something. Do people use Dogpile anymore?
Oh my God, there's one next to me.
Oh, cool.
Dogpile. Oh boy.
Yeah, but IBLP is the Institute in Basic Life Principles, which is the most boring generic title you can think of. But at the same time, it kind of belies the fact that, like you said, it's an insane cult, and we were all trained to be shiny, happy people in it. And now I'm mad and pissed. So there's that.
I have a question. It says that this is Christ-centered. So are they like remixing their Christ, or are they like because usually that's my first question. Everybody's like, what's your flavor of Christianity? What the hell is
non-denominational?
Yeah. What they think? What's their dogma, their practice?
So yeah, it's hard to describe to people who have never heard of it before, because a lot of people think, oh, this is some kind of new religion or it's some kind of church in and of itself. Not so much. It's actually a interdenominational cult is what it is. They don't care what flavor of Christian you are, as long as you give them money and buy their shit.
Toe the line.
They'll happily take you on board. Toe the line. So they tend to attract more fundamentalist and more conservative denominations. Mm-hmm. Like my dad was an independent fundamental Baptist preacher, but they had like some of the more like out there Presbyterians. They had like Mennonites, some Amish folks involved in the cult. Basically, yeah, if you wanted to separate yourself from the world, as they called it, which was anything outside of your family, they would happily enable you to do so. So, but it was Christian in the broadest sense, and like the American conservative evangelical bullshit.
Right. Yeah, and we were talking a little bit before that, and you're like, if there's anyone that's partially behind the whole white nationalism in America, it's these guys, right?
Oh, I would say that they were the progenitors of it. Like, if you look at every white supremacist evangelical bastard out there who's in power, they have some ties to this organization. I will bet you $1. So it's
I
that
got a buck.
they were
It's a
they were-
US
yeah, there
dollar
you go.
too there, Neil.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
So
Oh,
you have to give me
oh,
like
I don't
10.
have that
Yeah.
much money. Come on.
Don't
Whole
be
US
bringing-
dollar. Jesus, I'm gonna have to
don't be
work for 3
bringing-
weeks just to get that.
Don't be bringing in your loonies and toonies now. No one's got time for that.
What do I look like? A slot machine? Anyway. Yeah.
What do I look like? A cult? Never mind.
Going to Vegas, play the slots.
They're just playing the slots with people. They're just like, I wonder how much I can get out of them. Oh, that much.
Yeah, but there was actually quite a following because IBLP was an international cult. They had their training centers, as they call them, all over the world. Essentially, they had one in New Zealand. They had one in Russia that I know of, Romania. They were all around the world and across the U.S. as well. And I do know they had like a very strong contingency of like Canadians who also
Neil.
joined up with the cult. Yeah, there was one family had 13 kids from Ontario who we
Fuck.
met in Belgium, and yeah, they because the idea in IBLP was that you were supposed to repopulate the earth for Jesus. You know,
Not tomorrow. Not with one family. Jesus.
So, well, no, what I'm hearing is the wifey poo was like pregnant for 13 years straight.
Oh yeah, my oldest sister had 9 kids, 6 boys and 3 girls in that order, and she just popped them out one
Holy
after the other.
Shit.
Yeah,
I have a
Like one of them
7-month-old.
machines, you just pump them out.
I have a 7-month-old. So just this where I'm at right here for 10 years. No way, dude. No way, dude.
I'm
so
sure
many
it's
diapers,
asking
no sleep.
Oh my 10 years of that's
seminar and educational material. Promise Keepers. I don't know what the hell that's all about.
Sure. So yeah, basically, IBLP got started in the 60s and 70s by this one little wacko called Bill Gothard. He went around. He went around the country. Oh yeah, he was. Like, if you look this guy up, he looks like if the Chucky doll like drank from the wrong Grail. Like he's fucking like old as hell. But in the 60s and 70s, he went around with a little projector and basically told everybody, look, the problem with America these days is nobody respects authority anymore. And of course, in the 60s and 70s, you had all kind of societal upheaval. You had the civil rights movement. You had feminism. You had the sexual revolution. Exactly. Oh, and that was a major part of it, too, because segregation was ending even in Christian universities and such, and people were desperate to try to keep their kids from integrating with other races as much as possible. And homeschooling was a huge part of it, which is why in the 80s, IBLP came out with their own homeschooling curriculum, and that was when they struck gold.
Oh, wow.
Because then parents could keep their kids home and just teach them from basically kindergarten all the way up through graduation and never have to have them mingle with people who weren't their family.
He's from around like me. Like he was born in Hinsdale and he went to Wheaton College. Like he's like northwest suburbs Chicago guy.
And the IBLP headquarters.
Crazy. Dude, you were in like you saw the fucking Sox win the pennant and then you were like, man, it's 61. Let me make a cult. Like, what the fuck? Like you were normal. Like, he wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, from some war torn. He just lived in suburbs of Chicago.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh yeah. He and the IBLP headquarters building is still technically in the Hinsdale Oakbrook area. We, myself and my friend Lindsay Williams, who was also in the series, we actually snuck into their headquarters last year and got away with it. This is before the docuseries release, so I'm pretty sure right now we have wanted posters of our faces up there. But
now, yeah.
But yes, it was headquartered out of Chicago, but they had training centers like all over the U.S. and all over the world where they would send kids and mostly teenagers, have them working menial jobs for free, or even worse, like have the parents of the kids pay IBLP to have their kids work there.
So
now,
actually,
that's when
I'll
you
just-
know
I'll
it's a
just answer this.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for asking, Dog. My mom is doing fine now. She's doing much better. A little bit of a scare there, but she went to the hospital and they took care of her.
Via
That's all
via Wikipedia here. It says Gothard had many political connections with Republican political leaders, including Mike Huckabee, Sonny Perdue, and Sarah Palin.
Yep.
Ah,
Like I said, if you
makes
want,
a lot of sense.
well, that's how he got into power. The homeschooling portion was what funded IBLP and made it as big as it was, in my opinion. Like, he had lots of money from his seminars, but I mean, everything really took off in the 80s and 90s with thousands of families following this homeschooling cult that he put out. And the curriculum, which was just essentially the ramblings of whatever his opinion of the Bible was. It had no educational value, but he claimed that if you brought your family up and your kids up learning from these wisdom books, as they called them, they would essentially have like a pre-law or pre-med degree by the time they graduated high school. So he took the money from that and he expanded the grift to taking over like troubled youth programs in cities around America. He established connections with politicians, mayors, governors. Like, he would schmooze literally everybody. At one point, he even schmoozed Boris Yeltsin. I'm sorry, or
really?
Yeah, it was Boris Yeltsin. Yeah. After the Iron Curtain came down, he took his happy ass little cult over to Russia and made a move to try to take over all the orphanages in Russia. So, yeah,
wow.
There was nothing this man didn't try to use his, weird ass teachings of the Bible to try to get into.
He's lucky he did that because Yeltsin was right before Putin, right?
Yep.
Of course. Yeah. Putin never lost an election or had an election after Yeltsin. So he's lucky he didn't try that with your boy, because it would have been different. No, you're not.
Yeltsin was drunk.
Yeah, he was fucking, come in, man. School? I love school. Come teach the kids.
It was just messed up.
All right, so basically, I want to get into how you ended up getting involved with these guys, and then ultimately finding the truths that you found and that freed you from this bullshit.
Okay. Well, my dad was an independent fundamental Baptist preacher, which geez. If you're unfamiliar with the IFB, like if you've heard of the Southern Baptist, our denomination considered them liberal. So they it was a very conservative, very right-wing version of Christianity. There was no like central denomination or central convention that controlled all of it. My dad, he started back in the 70s and 80s as a preacher and eventually became a missionary overseas. And that's where he started to homeschool my older siblings at the time, because he disagreed with the school system over in Europe where he was a missionary to, and he started teaching them at home then. At some point, he came back to the States to start a church in his old hometown in the backwoods of Walker County, Alabama, where I grew up.
Where is that on like the Alabama? South, north? It
would be kind of west central Alabama, so about maybe an hour outside of Birmingham, if that. Basically, as soon as, well, yeah, you're getting there. Like if you start going to Mississippi via or start going to Memphis via Mississippi around that area on I-22, if you start hearing banjo music and slam on your brakes real hard, you'll be in Walker County. So it's way out there.
Lock them up at the first twang.
Basically, there. Yeah. So yeah, I grew up in Walker County, and about that time, my parents decided to go all in on homeschooling. They had sent my older brother, who was about 10 years older than me. They sent him to Christian school for a few years to try to get him reacclimated to the States. But me, they said, well, let's try to teach him at home from the very get-go. And they also brought my older brother back in to try to homeschool him as well. They couldn't find a curriculum that worked for both of us because we were 10 years apart, and they didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money. Meanwhile, my mom was entering her 40s, and she found an OBGYN here in the States who was a very conservative Christian. And going to this OBGYN, she posed the problem that, hey, I'm entering my 40s. I don't want to have any more kids because I clearly 10 years apart from my brother was an accident, and they let me know that every day. She said, I don't want to have anything else like that. Don't want to do anything drastic to prevent it, though. What are our options? And the doctor said, well, I know you're very solid Christians. Why don't you turn that over to God? He essentially said, why don't you let God decide how many kids you have? And my mom and dad said, well, we never thought about that. He gave my mom a copy of a book called A Full Quiver, which essentially makes the argument that children are to be like, yes, they're to be like arrows that you shoot out into the world, and you need to have your quiver full of arrows in order to defeat what Satan's trying to do in the world. There's a Bible verse and songs about it or whatever.
And they'll eat prayer.
Oh, wow.
And live in the church.
Well, the book argued if God gives you kids, he'll provide for them, right? Because he wouldn't give you a blessing he couldn't pay for. Spoilers, yes, he could. So
joke's on you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there is no God, so obviously, the money ain't going to be there either. Anyway, so my parents got into that on the promptings of this doctor, and then the doctor was like, "Oh, also, we're looking into this seminar series that this fellow's bringing through Birmingham. He's got like this homeschooling curriculum. We should go check it out." And so they went and checked it out, and they were seduced by this guy, Bill Gothard, into joining this homeschooling curriculum, that went hand in hand with this quiverful movement. So my parents ended up having 2 more children after me, and then signing both my older brother and myself up for this curriculum with the idea that the younger 2 kids would be coming into it as well once they hit school age. So that's what got us started in the IBLP cult. The homeschooling branch was called the Advanced Training Institute of IBLP. So you had IBLP and ATI, and they gave it these generic terms that sounded very professional.
Yeah.
But essentially just said essentially we're just, here's some shit that our founder thought, your kids should know. And it was just, a series of books based on the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5, 6, and 7 in the Bible. Once you finished them, you started all over again. And you kept doing that throughout your entire school upbringing. So it was brutal.
Oh. That's like grinding in a game, but it's school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like
none of it was academic.
Wargs outside of town, you just keep fucking killing wargs. The same 3 wargs over and over.
Yeah, search this Bible passage for 20 bear asses and then turn in the quest, right? Yeah.
This is
I get
crazy.
it. So yeah, I was fully homeschooled in that. Essentially, I started just doing like random Christian school shit from the time I was a kindergartner. But when I was about 7 or 8, we switched fully over to IBLP, and that was mostly my school up until the time I was graduated. So it was. Yeah, it was a subpar education system. It didn't prepare me for the real world. Compounded on top of all that, my family decided to go back to Europe as missionaries when I turned 12. So you had the double whammy of being homeschooled, isolated from everybody else, isolated from your own country because we were in the Netherlands and Belgium, and we separate ourselves from everybody then, unless they were our friends who were also in the cult. We knew a couple of families over there that were involved, but we rarely saw them because they lived far away. And so they basically just kind of kept me at home and, just taught me all this shit while at the same time trying to start independent fundamental Baptist churches in the Netherlands and Belgium. You can only imagine how badly that failed. I
was about to say, I don't know how they would go for that.
They don't.
But why though? Not for me. Not for me.
Well, that's how Dad sold it. We go over to 2 of the most, Christian and affluent countries in Europe, and we sell it as they don't have one independent fundamental Baptist church in those 2 countries. And that's a shame. They need to hear the truth. And we sell them American fundamentalism, and it falls flat because of all places, the Netherlands and Belgium do not want or need that. So, yeah.
Pass.
Yeah,
they're all just sitting there at their little podium, just Red X. No, Red X. He's out of here.
So
no, you're not going to gain much ground there. There, people over there are way too secular.
Yep. Oh yeah, we build it as, oh, it's full of communism and atheism and secularism, and it's just people living their lives. And honestly, it's a tragedy because the whole time I lived there, I was there from the time from when I was 12 until I was 19. I didn't get to learn anything about the culture because we spent so much time hiding from it that I saw all these people as projects and not people, and I deeply regret that to this day.
Yeah,
have to go back.
Right, enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah,
but
go back and drink.
Hell yeah,
go back and party. Turn this mother up,
dude. So much Belgian beer I could have had while I was over there. Are you kidding? Like from the source.
And you could have drank at like what, 17, 18?
I mean, if I went there that long.
Yeah. When I went there, I was just a kid, like literally like 14, 15 years old. I was drinking over there. So
Neil, you had a beard at talking 12. He had patches, salt and pepper in there at 13. Like I saw you had a mustache at like 15. No lie.
Yeah, but it was like a cookie duster.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I did not have facial hair like that. You look like a grown-ass man.
No, I mean, hell, it took me till my 30s to do this, and this.
That's what I'm saying. I'm 36. That's all I got.
Yeah, we moved back to the States, or I eventually moved back to the States. Found out that I was completely unprepared for adulting. Ended up not going to college because the colleges that my folks wanted to send me to were basically fundamentalist diploma mills, and at that point, I could kind of tell like, this isn't where I want my education to go, so I'm going to take a gap year. I'm still on it, but I started working for some churches over here in the States. And the first church I worked at, like, there was a huge scandal where the pastor had his wife leave him and file charges of abuse against him. And through a long and complicated story, he ended up keeping and maintaining the pastorship of his church, even though myself and several other people said, hey, something's goofy here. So that was when I started noticing that there was something wrong with the system as it stood. But my dad, who was still a preacher at this time, he told me, he was like, well, things like this just happen, so let's not talk about it.
What?
And yeah, that's what I said. I was like, but it's wrong. Why don't we mention this, And come to find out, I started looking into some of the preachers that my dad had associated with, had studied under as a pastor, and I started finding stories of where there were horrible abuses perpetrated by a lot of them, and under the ministries that they pastored and they just covered up. For example, my dad studied at Hyles-Anderson College in Indianapolis, up in I'm sorry, not in Indianapolis, but Indiana, up in Hammond, Indiana, right outside of Chicago. And
Northwest Indiana. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Northwest Indiana. So it turns out the fellow who started or who pastored that church and started the college that my dad studied at, he had horrible abuses happen in his family that he covered up. And to the point where his son-in-law, who took over the ministry from him, ended up serving time for sexual abuse of a minor. So it's
fuck.
Well, yeah, I started finding out all these things, and then to top it all off, Bill Gothard himself had at least 17 women that we know of, and probably more, come out and allege harassment and abuse against him. And that's when he stepped down as the president of IBLP. He's since been trying to get back in. This guy is still around. He's 89 years old, just turned 89 last week. And he's still trying to take over the ministry that he stepped down on the legal claim that, well, he didn't really mean it. So, yeah, it's
takesies, backsies.
Exactly.
Fingers were crossed.
But when I found out about IBLP and all the things that Bill Gothard did, I'd already started to find my way out of fundamentalism. But that was the real wake-up call for me that, the very basis of everything I've learned in my life up to this point was wrong. Like,
what kind of things started you sort of seeing through their shit?
well, pretty much that, just like seeing all the abuse that was happening. And then, of course, whenever I'd approach my dad about it, he'd say, well, we'll never know the full truth, and it's best not to talk about it because that could hurt the ministry. And I'm like, I was like, people are getting hurt. Like, this shit is in the papers. This is in the news. Like, people know about it, and if we don't say anything about it, what does that say about us?
Right.
And my dad eventually, I did get him to admit before he died, he said, well, I saw a lot of people do things that probably should have had them put in jail, but it wasn't my place to say anything. And
yeah, okay.
I was like, you're a preacher. Whose place was it? Like, and a preacher in a denomination that doesn't have a central authority. So if not you, who? And that was when it really sunk into me. I was like, these were people that I was raised to hold up on a pedestal. These were the folks who had everything figured out. These were the folks that taught me these biblical truths I dare not question. If you saw Shiny Happy People, I was literally beaten if I questioned anything about what I was raised in. And now as an adult, I finally had the freedom and space to say, hang on, if all this is right, why do people keep getting hurt? I didn't sign up to hurt people. And that was when I finally started saying, well, maybe I need to reconsider everything up to and including the whole question of God itself.
Yeah. As Dog says here, that his abusers are all dead. It's been 44 years. I still regret not doing anything about it. So
I'm so sorry about that. That is, I said that is the worst feeling. Knowing, but again, as a kid, I didn't have a voice. That voice was silenced every time I spoke out. And once I became an atheist, and once I fully stepped away from Christianity, I thought at that point naively, okay, well, I was wrong about things. I'm just going to shut up and I'm just going to live my life now and just forget it all happened. And then I started
that off.
Yeah. But then I started seeing the consequences of everything I was raised in starting to get more and more power, especially here in the States. And I was just like, it's just going to keep following, isn't it? So that was when I started speaking out more and more. And I finally got on TikTok back in 2020 and started speaking directly about IBLP and the cult specifically. And from there, all that led to me speaking out on Shiny Happy People. And hopefully to this day, I can't really speak out about every problem that's out there in society. And trust me, with my lack of education and everything else, I don't have the answer for everything. But I can tell you about this cult, and I can tell you how they played a role in seeing what's going on today. And hopefully, if nothing else, we can get that shut down. And I think that will send a message to everyone else who's involved if they go away.
Were you able to sneak anything cool?
I wish.
Did you get a comic book from a friend? Did you get anything that you weren't supposed to that was pop culture? God, I gotta see this Transformers tape.
Yeah.
There were one thing that I did take advantage of when we were traveling around raising money to go to Europe. Sometimes we would stay at churches where you could kind of feel out if a pastor's kid was cool. And you always wanted to go with the pastor's kid because they knew exactly where the line was.
You got to know how to maneuver.
Yeah. So every once in a while, I could sneak in a video game, or I could sneak in maybe a comic book or something that they would have. Of course, then I get the feels about it later and confess it probably. But at the time, it felt transgressive, and I loved it. So yeah.
Oh, this Sonic really is something.
I was allowed to have a Game Gear, but the games had to be heavily censored by my dad. So I did have Sonic for a minute. And if you don't remember the Game Gear, it was. Yeah, if you don't remember the Game Gear, it was Sega's very bulky answer to the Game Boy that didn't last very long.
Yeah, I remember that thing.
It would have went great if it didn't take 6 AA batteries for 4.5 hours of battery life. But that was the first portable console that was backlit. And
That's
that
true.
was a fucking game changer.
That
road
was.
trips were transformed overnight. Oh, see what I did there?
I still have my original PSP. Does that count?
Ooh.
Do you remember the Nomad? Now that's
Yes.
Do you remember that? It took a whole Genesis cartridge in the back of it.
Although good luck playing Sonic and Knuckles on it, but yeah.
Oh, with the fucked up
Yeah, exactly.
All, like, bubbled up. Like, no, just to carve out part of the screen, I guess. Don't need that.
Yeah, I wanted a Nomad so bad for that reason. I didn't realize all the downsides to it, especially the battery life. But yeah, with the Game Gear, I had an AC adapter, and I just didn't play anywhere that didn't have a plug. Kids these days don't know the struggle.
They don't know the struggle, man. It was different back then.
Mm-hmm.
It was different.
But I had to keep that hidden from like other IBLP families and stuff. The thing about IBLP, they didn't make us better. They made us better at hiding things. So.
Nice.
They didn't.
You didn't see my Playboys.
Oh, that probably would have gotten me killed.
Oh wow.
It's like
it's all over.
It's like taking the cast from several different Ocean's 11s and putting them all in prison together. They're just going to become centers. They're just gonna get better at what they're doing.
That's the thing. Because I never went to an IBLP training center, and a lot of my friends did. I was spared that nonsense, but the ones I talked to and everything who went, they talk about how they were able to sneak in movies and stuff, and if you were really quiet about it, you could have like contraband books and stuff, and some of them even like snuck off and made out like in random areas of the property, and I'm like, y'all got to do all the cool shit, like even though that was like the most controlled place in the cult, like y'all still found ways to get that done. I must have missed out.
The upper people must have thought exactly that. It's the most controlled place, so they wouldn't be, but lo and behold,
yep,
there they were, hiding in the bushes.
Oh, Dog, I did have a Commodore as well, Dog in the chat. I had a Commodore 128 computer, but you had to boot it in C64 mode to play half the shit, so yeah, it was a whole thing.
Takes me back.
Right?
I could, that was no one can afford that. No one actually has that. They just say that I never had a friend that had those. We're like, no, it's $1 million. Who has $1 million?
Oh, Dad bought it secondhand.
And it was like $150 back then. But to me, I was like, it's $1 trillion. It is impossible to purchase. No kid can afford this.
My first computer was an Atari 1040 ST.
Ooh.
So
classic.
Yeah, it was a piece of junk is what it was.
Yeah, but now it's retro, so it's good again.
Fair. It literally says right on the back, there's a little plate on it that says made in bedrock. So yeah. That's how old the fucking thing is.
I'm not saying it would be a cool thing, but like if you had like a bachelor pad and like a old like CRT TV with an Atari hooked up to it with some Pong in the corner with like a turntable, that's a vibe, brother. I'm just saying, man, it's giving off cool vibes.
There is my favorite club here in Birmingham. Like there's a music venue, rock club type thing, and they have like this retro vibe. They used to have vintage video game night, and they had everything from like the Magnavox Odyssey to the original NES to like the Atari 2600, and they even had a Virtual Boy, if you can believe that shit.
Oh, the eyeball crosser 5000.
Yes.
The Nintendo migraine.
Mario will now burn your retinas.
Yeah.
That tennis game, I think that's why I have glasses. Like, I think that is the direct reason.
My first computer was an Abacus.
Oh, that was the one Radio Shack made.
Oh, fucking Radio Shack. Wow.
Oh, rest in peace, Radio Shack.
Well, they turned it into, what the hell did it become after that? And now you don't
Battery
even see them around
City?
anymore. No, Battery City. No,
Something stupid.
it was
Shack.
That
they
Weird
changed.
Al, yeah, Weird Al saying it like it was Toyland or something for a commercial one year, and I'm like, yep, they jumped the shark. No disrespect to Al, love Al.
He can take some disrespect. He deserves it.
He knows what he
Come
did.
on.
My campaign of hatred rages forward without stopping. I had something to say, and it probably wasn't video game related, but since we're here, what was the system, the first system you got as soon as you got out of the cult and you're like, shackles are off, baby. Best Buy, I'm on my way, or GameStop, I'm on my way. Now I'm playing this.
Damn, that's a good question. Well, it took me a while to be able to afford it, but I did get an Xbox 360 at one point at a pretty steep discount. I still have it. Somehow it hasn't red ringed yet. I don't know how, but yeah, I still have my 360. Hey, Mel.
Mel's there.
Hey, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
You went Xbox. You hear that, everybody? Xbox.
It was cheap.
Xbox gang represent.
My current gen console now of choice is the Nintendo Switch because I literally do not have time to play anything too involved.
I need to start playing. I bought my wife a Switch for her birthday when we first got together. Maybe 3 to 4 times a year we play it. We'll do edibles and play Mario Party, and then it just sits and collects dust. I'm like, man, we gotta start using this. This is embarrassing. We bought the last new Mario and haven't even beat it. We played it once.
At some point, I will take 2 weeks off and just play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom straight through.
Yeah.
That's happening.
I bought Breath of the Wild and I caught my first horse, and I've been playing on the horse for about, I don't know, 6 months. I just keep running around doing it. I've completely forgotten what the missions are. I'm just out there adventuring.
That's the beauty of it. Like, nobody cares about the main storyline. You can just go explore, go nuts.
No one's pressuring me to go a certain direction. Like, you want to go fucking pick apples? Pick apples. No one cares. Apple picker McGillicuddy over here.
Beck's like,
sounds
I'll
like an
take
old folks
gently use Nintendo Switch for Xmas.
Yeah. Tell my wife you want her Mario Party machine. Good luck.
Damn it, Mel.
She gave up on Mario
I'm
Kart.
I've fallen so far from the gaming. The only like I said, I still have a PSP, and I had an N64 up until a few years back. But all I have now is like a PS3. So,
what was your go-to game on the N64?
Mario Kart.
Nice.
Get a Switch. Neil, I command it. Buy yourself a Switch.
Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I had a Wii for a while, but I sold that.
Wii was weird. It
I
tried.
like the Wii.
The nunchuck was too much.
But another game, yeah.
It was weird. I sold it. Somebody wanted it, and I'm like, yeah, sure, here you go.
I think I had a Wii.
I barely used it. I used the PS3 more than I used the Wii.
You would love a Switch. I think you would absolutely fall in love with the Switch. You would fall in love with Nintendo again and probably start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! On there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
Neil just stops doing the show, turns into an elite fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro tournament player.
Moves everything over to Switch. Or not Twitch, rather. Twitch.
Yeah. Just a big line of fucking chat. It's all F's because he's just dominating.
I don't
everyone.
need a Switch for that, though, because I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online.
Oh.
And actually play other people around the world.
Well, I didn't know that before I said it.
I just went.
Yeah, but can you play Magic the Gathering? Oh wait, you can. Never mind.
You can play Magic too.
What?
That's my thing. I have like a shitload of Magic cards as well because, again, fuck fundamentalism. but I have never played in person. I've always just played online, so I'm not really sure why I have a physical card collection at this point.
You never know. Someone might challenge you.
And when that day comes, I'll have my big ass book of cards and be like, let's go.
Imagine, if you will.
Some of them might be worth some money.
The sun comes up tomorrow. You yawn. You go get your coffee. You go to walk out the door. Boom. Minotaur challenges you to fucking Magic the Gathering. You better have your deck on deck, or else he will probably gore you.
This is why every time I leave the house, I carry like some D20s in my pocket just in case I need to like DM somebody like immediately.
Get rolled for teleport. Come on, please. Please, not a bush, not a bush, not a mountain, not a mountain.
No, I'll take a bush. Anyway.
That could be misconstrued.
Not the ocean.
Maybe.
Let them talk.
Mel 350's got an EV card in her wallet at all times.
This brings up an important question. What's the best evolution?
Regular.
Oh,
EV.
well, I think it depends on what you like, I guess. My favorite.
Regular EV. It's a
My
trick
favorite
question,
is this guy.
Neil.
Umbreon.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like Umbreon.
There was
I like Leafeon too. Leafeon can be pretty good in certain. Yeah, I have all of them, by the way. Just FYI.
Oh wait, I missed.
Nice.
Here's
Vaporeon.
I was looking for this one. Doorknob Head says D20s. Is
Right
that
here.
what the kids are calling it these days? That's the hottest street drug. D20.
Jolteon.
Kids.
You literally have all of them,
Kids are
including the
getting
new
critically high.
fairy one.
Espeon. Oh, you mean Sylveon?
Sylveon, yeah.
Yep, somewhere.
Oh my god, you actually have a Sylveon.
It's got the whole kit caboodle.
Where is he? There we go. Sylveon.
Nice.
On Pokemon Go, I told my wife, I'm like, I already know what your favorite Pokemon is. And then I point out the Sylveon. She suggested my daughter's name, which is Kira. Kira is what you have to type in to rename the Eevee to make the Sylveon. I was like, did you name her Kira? Because she's like, I completely forgot. I was like, okay, sure. I believe you. So
does that mean your daughter's going to become Sylveon?
I hope not.
That's what I think. Did she think your kid was going to evolve as soon as she was born? Like, it come out, and then all of a sudden, dope.
No, no. My wife glows and lifts up out of the air, and then the OR. Oh god. And then she just came down in a little pink onesie, smiling.
Amazing.
Smiling.
On Pokemon Go, Mel, I've got a shiny Jolteon.
Nice.
I got a shiny Flareon. It looks stupid.
Mark wants to know if I stream from the storage room. No, this is my bedroom, actually. I just happen to have boxes and boxes of Lego. That's all.
We're going to have to...
Any room's a storage room if you believe in yourself.
That's right. And that's where I store all the Lego. Well, some of it's in the closet over there, too. A lot of the bigger sets. Like
Chad's right. You guys would have more storage if you had more self-confidence. Just believe in yourself, damn it.
This kitchen now holds Legos as well.
It's getting to the point where I'm going to need to put it somewhere else. And I just ordered a bunch more, too.
Neil's bed's going to just start getting higher and higher.
Sleeping on Lego.
This was a temporary solution, but now I feel I can't reach the covers.
And I got to be dropping a shitload more cash too, because they just announced that coming out will be the big ass Avengers Tower that comes with 31 minifigures. It's the most ever. Like, and I have the Mos Eisley one, and I have the Daily Bugle one that has like 20 plus minifigures in each of those. And now, and I just ordered the Dune chopper, the flying thing that they have, whatever the fuck they call it. I just ordered
Ferdinand, I
that.
believe.
Yeah.
Or you're going to have some sick ass crossovers, like, you know, write your own fan fiction with all these different ones. Yeah.
You guys start making movies.
There were 31 speaking roles in the original Avengers. Like, that's some.
Well, a lot of them are like they're like Shield people. They even have a Kevin Feige or Feige.
No,
they have a figure of him in there too.
Yeah,
with the hat and everything.
CML, yeah. I think he does have his hat. Yeah, his baseball hat.
Isn't he happy in Spider-Man?
Oh no, that's Jon Favreau.
No, that's Favreau.
Jon Favreau.
Yeah,
they're not the same person.
No, they're not the same.
Okay.
Person.
Yeah, I thought they were the same person. Like, oh, Happy's doing all these different shows. Look at Happy. He's doing good. He's doing good for himself.
Yeah, I'd love to live in a Lego house, except if you wake up, you're always stepping on Lego, aren't you? And that kind of hurts.
But when you were saying like everything was like slowly lifting, I just had this mental image of the worst game of Tetris ever IRL.
Oh,
you know,
no.
it's like your house just keeps getting filled up with like Tetris lines.
While Neil sleeps, I just go in and I just put down the Lego as a constant layer across the floor. And then the next day I do another layer. And the next day another layer.
That'll keep him out. There's me just picking them up and putting them in a bag. Yeah, free Lego.
No, it would be your Lego.
Oh. Free. Well, that's not fun.
Well, it's free for me to put down.
That's true.
I get the free.
What did you take apart to use all those Lego parts? Like, fuck, what?
I opened up all your bags. It was a real pain in the ass opening up all these pieces. It was a real pain in the ass opening up all these collector's editions. That's why I just cut right through the sides of the box. It was faster.
Well, that's too bad.
More valuable that way.
Now you have several boxes.
People
won't have to fight over them.
Come on, work, you piece of crap. What the hell? Okay. I have to send Chainsaw Man over there.
Oh, nice.
This isn't authentic Lego. It's the Japanese ones, but that's the only place I can get all the anime guys. So
it's probably like some rights thing, right? Why they don't just Lego doesn't just do it themselves.
Yeah, it could be. It could very well be
licensing and all that good stuff.
You get Luffy right there. I was just watching One Piece actually.
Nice. Does it stretch at all, or
no? No, it doesn't stretch.
Wouldn't that be cool though? You have like a Lego Stretch Armstrong type thing. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
What could you make that out of?
Rubber, like the original Stretch Armstrong.
What if you did those little like the little grabby hands? Like think of like the little contraption like a punching, like a boxing glove on like the little spring thing, and you
yeah.
If you put one of those on his arm, it could kind of stretch, and you just make the little rods and reels kind of skin tone.
But then how do we get it to do the armament hockey though?
All right, bro, come on, man. I'm tapped in.
It has to be authentic, damn
it. Then you Shadow Clone Jutsu, and then I just run away.
I love this. This is just like going to Dragon Con every year, by the way, this whole conversation. Like, this is Dragon Con vibes right here.
Mark wants to know if I ever put together the Star Wart set. I thought I was buying that giant ass Millennium Falcon thing for like super cheap, and they ended up sending me this fucking piece of shit. Aluminum fucking hawk or whatever the fuck it was in a plastic bag with Lego bags in it that had the same numbers on them and shit like that. It's like fucking hell. And I'm supposed to put that together. Except it's buried now. It's under all that shit there. So
y'all don't understand how mad he was when he was like,
was it on Wish? You have to tell me if it was from Wish.
It wasn't Wish. It was an ad on Facebook. Don't ever fall for those.
Worse.
Yeah, it was terrible. And no, Dave, I do not have Lego brick ice cube trays, so I don't. Sorry.
Oh, that would be cute.
Yeah,
you'd have like a little mold and it had the little cube, like a little ridges, little circles on top. That'd be cool.
How cool would the ice sculptures be if you could do that? Like,
Oh, you just put the mold upside down. It'll be flat on the bottom.
Yeah.
Shaboing boy. That easy. We'll be rich by sundown.
It's already sundown.
Fuck. Never mind. Throw it all away. I work on spur of the moment, so if it's not happening right now, just throw the idea away.
The Millennium Frog Con. Nice.
Proudkin.
Speaking of Star Wars, I did finally got the this thing that I ordered, which is cool. Cards Against Star Wars.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. See,
we were allowed in our house. We did allow Star Wars because my older brother grew up during Star Wars mania. But we had to fast forward through anything that had to do with the Force. So for a long time, I thought that Star Wars was about 30 minutes long. You know, like
they took Star Wars from you. That is unforgivable.
Just the Force, you know. I was allowed to watch the cool space battles, and that was about it.
Oh yeah, and the like.
How do they monitor that though? Like,
there was always someone over your shoulder watching whatever you were watching. We had people on dedicated like mute duty or fast forward duty, or block the screen with your body duty. It was something. For a while, we didn't have TV at all, but Dad kind of relented after a bit when he saw how noisy we got. He had to wait. What was a Yoda? We had this. Anytime Yoda was on screen, like, we're skipping.
Like, what's the little? I think it's a Furby. No, it's a gremlin.
No, it looks like a demon. We're skipping.
Mark says you might be onto something. Yeah. Revolutionizing the igloo construction world.
You just put you put the interlocking part in the bottom of the mold. You put the water in. You let it freeze.
Not a lot of igloos these days, just FYI.
Yeah, because there's no water. Because we're dying.
Well, they have houses now.
We're Venusing currently.
Venusing? Oh yeah, going all
our greenhouse effect is gonna be awesome. Hopefully my smart child will save us all. Good luck, guys.
Evolved into a Smartion? I don't know.
Alakazam, maybe. I don't know. What's the smart Pokemon?
Type in genius and there, Smartion. Brainion. There you go.
There's some Pokeners out there. What's the smartest Pokemon? What do y'all think it is?
Oh, Slowking.
Really?
Is the smartest?
Apparently, yeah. Like because of the conch shell on the head, like it's supposed to like boost its IQ to where it can actually hold conversations with humans.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I have a couple of those in my Pokemon Go.
Yeah, don't battle with them. They're trash.
It's true.
They just talk to the opponent. So anyways.
Hi, I'm slow. Oh god, the lightning. Oh. He's hitting me with leaves.
Well, it's either Slowking or Mewtwo, but Mewtwo's like superpower is emo, so I don't know.
Oh my god, Mewtwo is so edgy.
You know what it costs to trade one? If you do a trade on Pokemon?
A million Stardust.
Like, are you insane?
I'm almost to
too much.
I'm almost to a million.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. I keep using it though.
Yeah, I've been using mine too for like evolutions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I've got maybe 20,000 or something. I don't know. Anyway.
So since we're running close to the hour,
holy shit, are we?
Yeah, we only got 5 minutes left. I always ask if you could go back in time and talk to indoctrinated you. What's one piece of advice you would shout through the ether to help them out?
Well, first of all, I would have to calm them the fuck down because I look and sound exactly like they were scared of whatever they were scared of growing up. Like, yeah.
A waking nightmare, a sleep paralysis demon. Like, no.
The future me? What?
Not like this.
Oh damn! I got ugly. No,
That
I'm
would be
just
the worst. You just see yourself like with like a bad back and like, no.
What happened to your knees? But anyway,
You're walking across carpet and your ankles are just cracking.
now I would shout at myself. Basically, what I said in the docuseries. That little voice in the back of your head that says something's wrong here. That's right, and don't lose that, because I was taught growing up that anything that ran counter to what I was taught was demonic, and I would just tell myself, that's not a demon, that's you. Listen to that. Also, maybe go to a real college.
Yeah, no more of this PragerU shit.
Oh, dude, like,
where do you think they got the fucking blueprint from?
The college I almost went to, they literally put cuss boxes on the TVs in college. Like,
Cuss
you couldn't
box? What the hell is a cuss box?
Like, anytime, like, anything remotely resembling a curse word would come up in dialogue, the TV would mute, and they would replace in the closed captioning the word that they use. So, for example, that pivotal scene in The Princess Bride, where Inigo Montoya says, I want my father back, you son of a bitch. The scene would mute, and the words would say, I want my father back, you clown.
For fuck's sakes.
We're talking grown-ass adults in college. Like, they put them in every dorm TV, and that was the only TV you could have. So that was fun.
I just got a flashback of those, like, awful TNT. Like, they would play movies, but then, like, they had to like do them clean, so they'd have like some voice actor come in trying to do like an impersonation of Will Smith, but he says, "Your mother flower," and it's like, okay, what is this? And it's clearly a different person's voice.
What was that? I'm tired of these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
Monkey fighting snakes. All I can picture is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with SCTV, the old SCTV television.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
All I'm thinking is that scene in the opening of the show with all the TVs flying out the window. That'd be your boarding house or your fucking school. All the TVs flying out the fucking windows with all the stupid fucking swear boxes on them. Like, what the fuck?
I would have just carved fuck into the screen of my TV and like, I'm leaving.
Here it is. It's there forever now. My favorite one, we were watching October Sky, and at one point the family is praying around the dinner table. And all of a sudden the scene mutes and the captions come on and it says, "In name we pray, amen." Because they couldn't even say Jesus, even if they were like fucking praying. Yeah.
You insulted my father. Prepare to apologize.
That's okay.
I keep meaning to do it, but I'm going to start like taking political clips and start doing those unnecessary beeps. Because that would be fun. It's like, you boop, my father. Prepare to boop. Just leave it on. Just bleep it for no reason.
You just reminded me of what the hell was it? Tiny Toons, the original Tiny Toons. When
yeah.
That one character, Foulmouth, and every time he said something, it would beep and come beep, beep, beep. Yeah, well, I would say beep, beep, and then beep, beep. Yeah, beep out all his words. So funny.
I forgot about him.
So funny. Well, he was only in like maybe 7 episodes or something.
And back then, dude, like you had no idea how many episodes were in a season, what season you're in.
Yeah, I know.
You just fucking took whatever they showed you and hoped it was funny.
Well, he was in a lot of the episodes that had the psychic duck chick or whatever, just to float around doing a little thing.
I had a nightmare about that fucking dodo. He fucking was coming out of the walls, man. He wouldn't fucking. He was like showing up everywhere, like dodo dio, dodo dio, dodo. I was like, oh god, I can't wake up. They're everywhere.
How old were you when you had this dream? I gotta know.
3rd grade.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know.
See, when Tiny Toons came out, I was already an adult, but I still loved it anyways because I was all about the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes stuff growing up, right? Because my dad watched it when he was in college, so yeah, they used to come out at like 8 p.m. because they had the Roadrunner and Bugs Bunny because it was considered adult cartoons at the time,
Right.
They were aimed at adults anyway. So
dropping hammers on people or anvils on things.
Yeah.
Piano. Just push the piano on the cat. That's funny, right?
Do you remember when They Might Be Giants actually appeared in Tiny Toons?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they did 2 music videos for Tiny Toon Adventures. One was they did a whole cartoon based on Particle Man, and they did a whole cartoon based on Istanbul, not Constantinople. So, yeah, full on Tiny Toon music videos. It was great.
Oh wow, hilarious! I didn't realize that.
I remember this.
Right?
I probably saw it, but
Yeah.
it's just not ringing a bell.
That was They Might Be Giants. Yeah,
they were pretty cool band back in the day.
Oh yeah, still are.
Don't they do the hot dog song from Mickey Mouse? Some of you parents out there will know. My child will never watch that.
Well, Chad, I want to say thank you so much for joining Mikey and me today. Sorry I wasn't a little bit more talkative, but of course with my voice going, it's kind of straining me anyways, just to keep it at some volume level here. So
it's very sultry, Neil. You sound like you got a nice secret
you.
in a bourbon.
That's right.
Hey, I have had a blast tonight. Yeah, I've had a blast, and honestly, like I'm going to replay bits of your part of the conversation as my ASMR for the rest of the week. You sound awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like that stuff too sometimes, especially when I'm having problems sleeping. I'll throw some of that on, and usually I like people reading stories, and then I just pass out, right? So.
Fair.
Yeah.
What's sleep?
When I first saw that stuff, I was like, "This is weird. What are these people doing?" And then I kind of caught on to it, but it was usually because I tuned into one reading like the old Mother
Phone
Goose. Reading the phone book. It wasn't Rain Man, for fuck's sake. It was like the old Mother Goose stories.
Abbott,
and stuff like that.
Adam.
There you go. Yeah. So the M stands for moose.
The lowly sounds of a moose.
No, you know what? They'd be terrible for ASMR. They'd just fucking out there going, what the hell is fucking? I can't sleep to this. What is this shit?
Yeah.
But Chad, it's been awesome having you on the show, man. Because I saw some of your bits and pieces there on that Shiny Happy People. There's no way I'm watching that whole series, but I definitely found the part that you're in. So it's and it's fucking insane is what it is. So also we are doing an after party, guys. If you want to be involved, just let us know and we'll get you a link. We're not going to do that till about 6:30 ish, so we take a bit of a break between two shows so people can do a bathroom break or fill up their drinks or get a snack or whatever. So
hopefully put a baby in the crib.
Yeah, there
without
you go.
her screaming.
And thanks everyone out there in the chat. By the way, all of Chad's links are below in the description box. He does have a YouTube channel, but he doesn't have anything on it. So at some point, watch for him on YouTube, and he'll be there at some point. But there are lots of interviews that he's done on other channels, including my friend Sidney Davis Jr. Which is, I think,
the Sidster.
I popped in on that one and started bugging you. I think about coming on the show. You were like, I saw you in the chat. So
I love being bugged, so it's all good. Yeah, NSA, if you're listening, bug me.
That's what we're gonna have to do from now on, Neil. We're just gonna have to start harvesting from all of our fledglings that have gone and left the nest. They're not sending their swans to Capistrano, so Capistrano's gonna come to you, mother suckers. We're on you. We're hunting you down.
Dosh Guard monkey fighters. All right.
Monkey fight Monday, Fridays.
Thanks everybody,
Okay.
and also thanks to our amazing patrons and our members and stuff. Lots of new members. Welcome everyone who's become a member. If you want to become either one of those, a patron or a member, there are ways to do so. Also linked in the description box below. And also the music at the beginning and ending of these shows is done by myself, and there are links to both my SoundCloud and Mikey's SoundCloud down below if you want to check out the stuff that we do. It's cool shit. So
cool beans, Maynard.
And yes, Mark Sidney does have some great interviews. She still hasn't had me on. Or has she had us on? I can't remember.
No.
I know, right?
Everyone went off and made new channels and then started getting the guests from this show. They don't even invite us.
I know. We're so second. You were so yesterday's news, man. That's all there is.
We're furniture, Neil, so they just step around us. They don't even think about us anymore. They just go around us.
Just use me as an ottoman. Just throw their feet
that's
up.
what we're the ottomans of YouTube.
That's right.
Useful,
yes.
But you just kind of walk around.
Yeah. Or stub your toe on them every once in a while.
Got him. No one asked the ottoman how we feel.
Damn. Yeah. Stephanie Helms. Yeah. Ingrates. Yeah. Ingrates. All right. So yeah.
There's a link. Empire.
There's a link below for the after party if you just want to hang out in the chat and annoy the hell out of us. You're welcome to do that as well.
Yes.
And until then, guys, like I always say at the end of the interview part of the show, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Push the button.